Welcome back. Welcome back. This is P2 for Unit 9 BTEC Level 3 Engineering. And what are we going to discuss in P2? Before I even get into that, this was from the assignment brief. This was also from the assignment brief, but in that section called, let me bring that up quickly, in that section called to do this. So task 1, to do this, and it gives you essentially some more information, some mini breakdown on whatever the criteria was. It's not very detailed, but when we go to the actual specification, see if I can find that. So the specification would be on the BTEC website, and when you scroll down to where Unit 9 is and you go to where it says content, you can find a lot more details in there, okay? So not only are you supposed to use the assignment brief, which is that Word document which you might have gotten from your teacher, you're supposed to also use the spec, the unit, the BTEC Level 3 Engineering Specification. It has all the information that you could potentially need in that one PDF. So let me go back to my Word document here. So we are supposed to discuss ways in which work experience can inform own career choices and help prepare for employment in engineering. And again, from the same assignment brief, but in a slightly different section, it says how work experience can inform your career choices and help you prepare for employment in engineering. That's that. And from the specification, it gives you some pointers which you can use to mention. You don't have to use every single thing. And if you find different things, that's perfectly fine. So it says how work experience can inform your career choices and help you prepare for employment in engineering. So the first thing we need to mention, or the first thing we need to figure out, let's say, is what do you actually want to do? Firstly, think about your careers or the careers you're interested in, right? If you are not sure about these, then you can use these links. I'll drop both these links in the description as well. So if you're not entirely sure what kind of engineer you want to be or what field in engineering you want to be in, these skills tests and the personality tests, they're going to essentially assess who you are based on the answers you've given. It's going to give you an output, and that output is going to, for both of these results, is going to have job roles that would be suited to your personality in this case, and then suited to your skill set or things you like doing in this case. Both very good. I think this one is slightly better because this one is from the UK government. So try and use both of them if you're not entirely sure what you want to do, right? A good idea would be to simply pause the video. I've made some notes in some places, for example, these two highlighted places. So simply pause the video at any time, make a note of those notes or just write them down, do something with them, right? Both tests will give some information on careers. Now, if you don't want to do both those tests and you have a relatively good idea of what kind of career you want, that's perfectly fine. Now we have inform means to give facts or information. So that's what the word inform means from the question. These are the ones that I think would be good for me. So if I were 16, 17, 18, 19, these are the things that I would be looking into because these are things that have always interested me. So I want to be a computer systems engineer, a solutions architect, or a cloud solutions architect, whichever one, right? That's something I like as well. Or an embedded systems engineer, something I really, really liked as well. So what you need to do is after you've decided from either the skills test above, so these skills tests on the personality test, you've gotten some job roles that you think, oh, that could work for me or that won't work for me. Think of whatever job roles in engineering you think would be good for you. What you're going to do is state the job role and give a paragraph on that job role. What does that person do? What skills do they need to have? Whatever you think is relevant. The coursework needs you to give some information about that job role. I don't think it's a good idea to just have one. I would say have bare minimum 2. I think 3, 4 is a good number as well. So I'm going for the middle ground. Let's say 3, between 3 and 4. I've gone for 3. So what this does is that you have 3 tiny paragraphs detailing what each of these job roles are. In the spec, it says sources of information about careers and the career pathways in engineering. What does that mean? Simply put, find some careers that you're interested in. First and foremost, give some information about that career and also speak about the career pathway. So how do people actually get into those careers? So I've created a few bullet points underneath my first one, for example, and I said give a paragraph on this, more or less. So just have a decent sized paragraph under each one. So what qualifications and skills are normally needed? So to be a computer systems engineer, I'm guessing you would have to have done some A-level in IT or BTEC level 3 IT, BTEC level 3 computer science, some computer science thing at college. You would have to go to university in most cases. You would have to get a degree in, so a BSc, Bachelor of Science. in engineering, computer systems engineering, computer science, computer programming, software development, in some BSc of some sort. Now you can 100% do degree apprenticeships as well, but simply look for the thing that you're speaking about and look at the qualification. This is very easy to find on Google as well. So you could literally Google qualifications of a computer systems engineer and you would see more or less a list or a checklist of things that you must have. After you speak about the qualifications, you need to then go into what do they actually do? What does a computer systems engineer do? As an engineer, we know that we design and develop computer systems. Now, that doesn't just mean desktops and gaming laptops and gaming PCs. This could also mean an embedded system. So I'm just making notes here. This is not something you have to pay attention to in too much detail. So the Raspberry Pi, one sec. The Raspberry Pi Pico is an embedded system, a microcontroller, right? I might use this Raspberry Pi Pico, this microcontroller, to create some form of system. I might create a motion sense system that once it picks up motion, it turns on a camera, it turns on the lights, it gives the sound, it sends an email saying that there's motion in this specific location. It really doesn't matter what I do, but that's how it typically works. As an engineer, I design and develop, and if I do computer systems, that is technically a computer system as well. And the next thing I have here is what professional body do they belong to? So I know computer systems engineer belong to IEEE, and again, you can Google this. If you simply go to Google and type in IEEE body or IEEE professional body, it comes up with all the information you want. Give some details on the professional body. So an engineer technician, for example, is ENG tech, right? So you look for the body that your things apply to. So if you're a mechanical engineer, for example, I believe mechanical engineers, it's IMEC or something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. I could Google it, but you guys need to Google it. So please go ahead and look into whatever role or whatever profession that you are trying to get into. Speak about that professional body. Now, if you do this for each one, I've done 3. You don't have to do 3. I think 2 is a decent number after you've done the skills test. So you show the results from the skills test. You do 2 or 3 of these, and that should cover everything. Now, each of these bullet points are exactly the same under each heading. So it's just you repeating the same process, the same steps, but for different careers. Because remember, back here it said sources of information about careers, plural. Plural meaning bare minimum 2. I did 3 just to make sure I covered everything. And the career pathways in engineering. A pathway is typically where you start based on where you want to end up. So if you want to end up as a computer systems engineer, what's the pathway you take? Now, everyone in this country, in the UK anyway, does GCSEs. So GCSEs are standard. But maybe choosing computer science or IT at GCSE will give you that edge when you go to college and you do computer science or IT, BTEC level 3, or whatever IT course you do at college. And then from there, when you start speaking about how you're going to inform your career choices, these are your potential career choices, and work experience is going to help you to decide the one that's best for you. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect now. We can always go back and make changes as and when necessary in terms of you wanting to be a computer systems engineer. You go and do the work experience and you realize, actually, this isn't for me. That's the whole point of this section, right? So let me scroll down. You provide information about the specific career you have chosen to get work experience in. I want to get work experience in a computer system as a computer systems engineer. What does that actually mean? What are the skills, the professional skills, and the personal attributes of a typical computer systems engineer? Again, this paragraph about computer systems engineer should have enough detail in there for me as a non-engineer person to read that paragraph and have a generally good understanding of what that role entails. Same thing for cloud architect, same thing for embedded systems engineer. Now, obviously, these are mine. You're supposed to choose yours. And again, I'm going to keep repeating this, your job roles or career choices would come from either your skills test, your personality test, or just from what you know. I have students who've told me, my dad is this kind of engineer, my uncle is this kind of engineer. I want to be this kind of engineer instead, because maybe you have knowledge prior to doing the test. That's perfectly fine. So, provide information about the specific career you have chosen to get work experience in. Expand on this as much as you can. So, it says up here, right? We need to discuss ways in which work experience can give us information on our own career choices and help us prepare for employment in engineering. So I've given some bullet points down here on what that paragraph or what those series of paragraphs might look like, or the questions you might be able to ask yourself and answer. It says, Is this job right for you? That's one of the main things. So as a computer, so I'm just going to put computer systems engineer, CSE, right? Is this job right for you? Learning about the actual responsibilities of this role. What do I actually need to be able to do this role? Can I actually learn the skills needed? Now, this is very off topic and random, but let's just say if I were ever asked to be a skydiver, or if someone ever asked me to skydive, I would simply say, hell no. That's not a skill I care to have. It's not a skill I want to have. It's not a skill I won't enjoy it. I know that for a fact. I'm going to be screaming and behaving like a crazy person. So that's not for me. If computer systems engineer gives you the same level of anxiety, maybe not the same, but you know what I mean. If it's not something you enjoy doing, if it's something you know you won't like, if it has a series of skills or a set of skills in that role that you think that's definitely not right for me, then that's the whole point of work experience. You're going to ask yourself, like, is this job fun? Do I enjoy doing the things I am doing? I do not like these things I am doing. I can simply change. I actually did this on my work experience when I was about 16, 17. I had work experience. I didn't like it and I asked to be changed, and I actually got into working as a, let's say, IT technician for my school instead. These are all the ways that work experience can actually help you decide whether that career is for you. You're going to look at things as day-to-day working. So the things you do on a day-to-day basis, are you enjoying them? Are they fun? Are you learning them well? Are they stressing you out? Are you getting hurt? The day-to-day workings, if it's not something you can do, not something you enjoy, not something you want to do, that's the whole point. This work experience, or work experience in general, in that specific role is going to help you decide whether that field, that branch of engineering is for you or not. And if it's not for you, that's perfectly fine. So it is early days and you're actually in a non-contractual role. You can normally opt out once done in a respectful way without any consequences. So let's just say you're on work experience, you think, actually, this isn't for me. You can go to your boss at some point and say to the boss or the supervisor, the manager, be like, I thought I would like this. I'm not really enjoying this. Would you mind if I signed off? I'll finish my days. So let's just say it's a Wednesday, Thursday. I'll finish my week. I'll do everything you need me to do, but next week I would prefer not to come in. I want to look for something else that's suited best for me. That's perfectly fine. And in 99% of cases, employers won't mind, because if it's not for you, you being there and being unhappy and sad and not working well, not working to your full potential, greeting customers in a non-friendly way, having a droopy face, it's not going to be beneficial for them either, right? You can go do another work experience which you think would be more suited to you. So again, these are some of the reasons that I think work experience is going to help you decide on your chosen career. Work experience is going to help you decide if this thing is for you. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully that was detailed enough. And thank you for watching.